little bit of a little live stream chit chat just about things we see online and how we react to things online and what we find to be valuable or useful when we are online. So, is scrolling bad in and of itself? I don't think so. I just believe that no matter what you do, whether it's watching TV or scrolling or whatever it is you do, put a limit on it. Like, of course, I don't think small children should even be on YouTube, really. Like, if a child's not above the age of 13, I don't really know why they're on YouTube. And that's kind of like, I know there's YouTube Kids, but you still see questionable things with, I would say, children that are definitely under 13, not even with their parents, because so many people are worried about the parents that are turning their children into influencers. I'm not even talking about that, but I'm talking about like actually young children that are way too young. You still see this occasionally, like if you look at any YouTube shorts, and sometimes like they're doing dances that are really not, I just don't think are appropriate for people under 13. Like some of the trends, like, well, here's an example, and I'm not even a prude, but a few months ago, that song, I Am a Nasty Girl, like it was kind of trendy. It's kind of a sexual song. And I don't think that's something I don't even really think a teenager needs to be dancing. I know they might, but do they really need to be? No. And this is not me being a fuddy-duddy. I just don't think, like, there's something wrong if you don't realize your underage child is dancing to certain songs or even posting, like, things on the internet. They shouldn't be. Like, that's a parental problem. And, yeah, it's probably not a good idea to really have your kids online much. And then, I don't know, like, I've never been against, like, the mommy bloggers or the parent bloggers per se, like if they show their kids here and there, but when you know that their entire brand is kind of like built on like their kids and what their kids would be doing, it kind of does make you a little bit more uncomfortable, because I'm like, why? Like, why can't you as the adults be the ones that, I don't know, post that stuff? But yeah, so we have the whole influencer culture. That's another thing. Like influencers, people that call themselves influencers. And at first I'm like, okay, whatever. So I feel like the internet has had several stages. It had its infancy, okay? I would say the infancy of the internet, like approximately, I know some people were on DARPANET in the 70s, like, but I'm not talking about people that could afford expensive computers and were on like the beta beginning origins of the internet. I'm talking about people who were on the World Wide Web when it launched. Like, it didn't officially launch until 1992, but people started using it more like around 1995, but not even that many people yet. So you had like the infancy of the internet like in the 90s, and I would say it lasted up until the early 2000s. So the infancy of the internet is like when people were first like getting interested in buying home computers, and it was becoming a little bit more mainstream for the average family to actually have a home computer. And then you had the dial-up internet. And by the way, I personally, like, I went to college in the late 90s, early 2000s. I personally did not have my own computer until the year 2000, okay? And I was in college, and I didn't even buy that computer. Like, I was still, like, I would go to the college computer lab to type papers, to look things up on the internet, okay? Like, I used, like, the college computers, like, in the campus computers, like, they had little computer labs. And I didn't even own a computer until 2000. And I had finally bought, like, a word processor, and it was, like, I had thought about buying a computer, but I decided not to do it. So I bought, like, a word processor. It was, like, a Brother word processor. I might still have it somewhere. Maybe I gave it away. I don't know. Okay, no. We're gonna go ahead and remove that because I find that you like spam my, like, this guy spams my feed for some reason. I don't know, like, has he been sent to spam my feed? I don't know, but we'll just remove that because I think he is a spammer. So, and this happens periodically. I think he's a bot or something. Although I've seen him write actual comments on other people's videos. Not you. Yes, you're removed because you post things in my feed that are not correct. You're not engaging in, like, discussion. Not you, Seth, but you come to my feed and you keep posting spam, Mr. Peaceful. That's not peaceful. Like, and it's showing no respect to me. Thank you, Seth. Yeah, you don't show respect to me. I don't know. I've had some weird ones where I see them being mega respectful to other people, and then they come to my feed. I'm like, why? Why are you here? What are you doing? Like, did someone send you? You do that everywhere. Stop spamming people. And no, you don't do that everywhere, because I know when I used to see you do it on chat on somebody else's videos, you wrote real comments. So we don't even, I'm not a dodo. I remember. Thank you, Seth. Thank you. Okay, I respect you, Seth, because I can tell you're a real person. So anyway, getting back to the whole computer infancy thing, I would say, like, for most people, because I didn't even own a computer till like 2000, and somebody gave it to me. It was a computer that was given to me by somebody that was leaving college, and they were going to go have a job. Do I mute? No, I don't know what that is. So we're talking about computers. I'm talking about computers and influencing and how we got to where we are with social media, just from my view. Okay, so computers were really, for most people, and the internet were in its infancy, I would say, up until the early 2000s, because up until the early 2000s, not everybody had actually got a computer. And if you had internet, for most people, in America anyway, like, there were people that had DSL, but it was horrible. Like, I remember, like, some of the kids when I was still living in the college apartments had DSL, but it was horribly slow, they said, and it was overly expensive for what it was. So DSL didn't become more reliable, and this is in Southern California with very good wiring. And when they started laying a fiber optics line, like when Charter and Time Warner, well, they've merged now, like, started laying fiber optics lines, so you could either get, cable internet, or you could get DSL through the phone company. So in the early days, I would say here in California anyway, in Southern California, like, it was dial-up, and dial-up was slow, and you had to make sure, like, if you had America Online, or even if you, which was pricey at the time, like, do I like the VP? I don't know. She's okay. She's not my favorite, but when it comes to politics right now, I do not like Donald Trump. I find him to be a disaster. So no, I want to vote for him. No way, Jose. I'm kind of like either Kamala Harris or Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Like, I'm still thinking about, like, who I'm going to vote for. Either one of those. But I'm not a big fan of politics. I did love Obama. I used to be a registered Democrat many years ago. I kind of went down the whole libertarian pipe, but I have seen the dark side of the moon when it comes to that. Literally, I've seen the dark side of the moon, and that's fine if you want to be an independent. Like, I do believe, like, there are libertarian people that are very actually pro civil liberties and really do care about other people and have compassion, but I have found that there are some libertarians, in my view, they say that they're pro-liberty, but I think they're okay with Republicans that want to be very fascist, and I don't really like that. But I'm not a fan of Democrats all the time either. I'm not a fan of politics. I think American politics are kind of too heated, too controversial, not healthy for a very long time. So my opinion is, don't define yourself by any political party. If you want to be a healthy-minded individual, like, learn about the world outside of politics. Do not define yourself. Like, I don't think anybody who finds like, personally, I would never define my life by politics. I'm just not, like, I'm getting to the point that I'm more, well, why? Why do you want to leave the country? Are you American? Because if you want to leave the country, this is your, let me put it this way to you. If you are an American and you want to leave the country, are you into gentrification? And that is something that a lot of Americans are doing right now, and they don't care that they're hurting other people. Like, they're like, oh, I hate the country. What's so wrong? I love living in America. Don't have problems. Maybe it's your mindset, okay? It might very heavily be your mindset. I know we are trained in this country to think everything is wrong, but I don't see that. Like, in my daily life, when I got away from just being around people who really thought that way, because I never really felt that way, when I started distancing myself from people that kind of just have that paradigm in their mind, you're finishing. Well, if you're a dual citizen, you could live in Finland then. Like, that's fine, I get it. But if you're just an American with no other dual citizenship and you want to go live in another country because you're like, oh, my American dollars go farther, that's gentrification, and I don't agree with that at all. Like, I think, I'll tell you why. If you're going to go live in another country, you better go be a citizen to the Hiltlands and back for that other country, learn the language, be paid in their currency. Because otherwise, you are part of the problem. And I know some people are like, but gentrification has happened forever. But I have a big problem with, like, okay, when I was growing up, everybody just really hated on Mexican people. Like, they were just so cruel to them, and they were very racist, in my opinion, saying, oh, that they're all, like, calling them illegal, just really horrible things, like, very, very. And some of these same people, and I know there's some of these same people who did dabble in that, now they're moving to Mexico and other countries, and they're being paid in US dollars so they can leave cheaply, and they're hurting people. In fact, that's why Turkey has recently passed laws, like, against, like, how long people can stay in the country, because having foreigners come in who don't really have an invested interest in becoming citizens, who are continuing to make a much higher income than people who live in the country, are causing inflation, and they're also causing, like, problems. Like, see, that's the thing. Like, well, if you don't have to pay taxes, you should be paying taxes in whatever country you go to. And I know everybody's like, oh, I don't want to pay taxes. That's another thing I've completely come to disagree with when it comes to, I know there's certain political parties right now, they're like, I don't want to pay taxes, no taxes. Like, what kind of society do you want to provide for others? Because if you're a member of society, I know, like, people are like, oh, taxes are so horrible. Well, I hate to break it to you, but in our modern times, whatever society you are part of, you have to pay taxes because you contribute to the society, you benefit from the society. There is no tax-free society. There just isn't. It's not realistic. I have just distanced myself. Like, I know for a long time, I kind of tried to, like, be amenable to people who feel that way, because they basically told me that their view of the world was better, and I tried. Okay, if you make a lot, you should still pay taxes, and other people that make a lot pay taxes too. Like, you're not you're not immune. You're still part of society. Like, everybody should pay taxes. You might not like it, but like, there's roads, there's schools, there's things that we have all benefited from. And I know, like, some parties are like, oh, but we should just have private entities, like, furnish those things. Well, right now, if you look at the way things are going, corporations are more powerful than the government, okay? Even if you have bureaucratic red tape, many corporations, like, they don't even, like, remember when they used to break up the PAC bills? They don't do that anymore. Corporations have become way more powerful than our government, and they create this. So I don't know. I don't think that paying taxes is such a horrible thing. I don't think living in America is such a horrible thing. But I've distanced myself from people that don't see the beauty of our country, who don't want to work within our system, because we might have problems, but I'm not going to be part of that problem. And okay, that's fine. Pay your taxes. If you make that much, don't be so like out of touch with reality that a lot of people are suffering. Like, you need to pay your taxes. You need to contribute to society. I know there's a lot of people like, taxes are bad, and like, you'll be free. Like, what society is there? So if you participate in that gentrification, you're going to go to another country and be a tax evader. Please don't do that. I know there's a lot of people that think that's cool beans. Don't listen to them. A lot of them still pay their taxes, okay? Because what happens to the people that don't pay their taxes? They have problems. Like, look up the story about Paul Hogan. He thought he wouldn't pay his taxes in Australia for quite some time. Yeah, and nope, he couldn't leave the country for a while. So please. No, I don't like Andrew Tate. I'm not into any of those people. So we're going to keep this more about computers. Because, like I said, I don't like controversy. I'm not part of the divide and conquer. I'm not into that. I think some people think I might be. I don't know why, but I'm not into that. Andrew Tate, no, he's a big divide and conquer guy. He's a big giant ad. He loves controversy. Not into any of them. I'm into people that are kind-hearted. I'm into people that promote peace, that promote understanding, learning. Like, I'm separating myself because for a long time I felt like, oh, I should listen to people who, like, say that they have a different political view, like, and I should be more open to that. But at the end, I didn't feel that their way of seeing the world was better. Okay, you can have whatever experiences you want, but I don't like Andrew Tate, and a lot of us don't, and we think he's controversial and a showman and selling a product and probably a charlatan, okay? He's a charlatan, guys. Like, we don't do that over here on this channel. Like, my channel, we're about respecting people to the hilt land and back. We're about beauty and happiness and having respect for both men and women to the hilt land and back. Like, you have to have hardcore respect for women. Oh, we don't do that here. No stigmas. No stigmas. In fact, I'm going to remove that comment. Let's see. Cancel. Yeah, we're removing that. Let's going back. Okay. So we're going to focus on what I said this talk's going to be about. This talk is going to be about people and computers, okay? I want to keep it on point, like I started. So I saw the early 2000s as the infancy of the internet. That was the beginning times of the internet. And I would say after like maybe 2004, 2005, I would say maybe that was like the toddler time of the internet. The internet was starting to get a little bit faster, maybe not in rural areas, but some people have had satellite internet for years. That's been a thing. But people were starting to get faster internet. They didn't have to do a dial-up modem. So with faster internet, you could kind of experience, that's a big semi. You could experience other things, all right? So one of the things you could experience is like watching videos. And video sharing websites weren't becoming really big yet, but you had some that were starting to develop. Like you had Meta Cafe. I'm not sure if that one's around anymore. You had Daily Motion, and then you had YouTube. YouTube ended up being the big one, right? So when people started having internet that could be faster, they started sharing videos more. And I would say around that time when people started sharing videos, that changed the internet a lot. Because before then, you could like upload like a GIF or a small video, but you kind of had to have your own website, or you could upload it to a forum, but you had to have a little bit of coding skills. And now for the first time, you have like YouTube where people can upload videos. And then you have like there were some other social networking sites. I don't know if they're still around anymore, like ones that are kind of like MySpace. And then you had MySpace, which was like the fun one that all the young people wanted, because you could like decorate it the way you wanted. And I had a MySpace page for a while. And you had Facebook, which started out as a college social networking site. So I would say through the toddler times from like 2004 to maybe 2007, that's when social media sites started taking off. And at that time, you still needed, okay, I paid $3 for, that's a Sigma. Because honestly, I personally am not, like, I know a lot of people love to define themselves by things, and they need that mantle, and they need that mentor. They need that mantle, and they need that mentor. But I've never had a mantle or a mentor. I just live for God. Like, I believe in God. God is my mentor, okay? And I guess somebody unliked my video just because I said that. But God, like, I don't know. Spiritually, I'm just leaning into Abrahamic religion right now. I believe like a lot of beauty in Christianity and Islam, and I don't need people that, like, I don't really care about what these people, like certain people think, okay? I'm leaning into spirituality. Like, I'm nominally a Christian, but I don't know, the more and more I read about Islam, like, it kind of changes my mind sometimes. Like, it's just really powerful in my mind. Like, it's still, I don't know, like, I have a lot of respect for it, right? So, in Christianity, of course, but there's just certain explanations of things in Islam that make more sense to me. So, I believe in God. I don't need, like, people. I don't need to follow like some, like, I don't know, I'm just giving my life more to spirituality these days than to like a worldly definition of who's right. So I believe in God. And when you believe in God, I feel like, I know that's not popular to say, like a lot of people are like, no, I know you said that's your no, that's good. So I just don't feel like I need like a spiritual leader or like some sort of guru, influencer type person in my life. But I would say in the early toddler time of the internet, it didn't really need gurus. Like, people were still just having fun with it. Like, you did have some music, like musicians on MySpace, and maybe sometimes celebrities would be posting. But in the beginnings of the internet, it was more, you're in a cult, leave the cult. Nobody should be in a cult. You're old enough, you can leave your cult. Unless you're trolling, I don't know. People write a lot of things I don't get. Nobody should be in a cult. Leave your cult. Like, nobody's going to make you be in a cult. Like, if you're over 18, leave. Like, you do not have to be in a cult. Like, why would anybody want to be in a cult? Anyway, unless, like, you are stuck. But if you're stuck, you need to ask for help. I don't know. But do I really believe everything people write? Because a lot of these things are just so far out there. So, anyway, what was I going to say? Here's my thought on the toddler time of the internet. At that time, you didn't have as many celebrities that were as big on the internet. You didn't have as many, like, you didn't really have, like, what you would call a true influencer culture yet. You had some people, like, I don't know, like some big YouTubers like maybe Michelle Phan, some other people like Happy Slip. I remember her, like, but they were more just like good at making videos. They weren't really what you would call influencers, and some of them actually, I would say, kind of went away before influencing became what it is now. I would say that during the toddler time of the internet, it was just the most fun, but I wasn't even so super socially invested in like social media sites during the toddler time of the internet. I mean, I would watch YouTube videos because I liked certain things that you could learn and certain music and things like that. So I was on hub pages for a while. That was really neat. I love that. I actually started my own website for a while, but I don't know. I just felt like it was becoming too expensive to run a website. Like they wanted to charge me thousands of dollars, and my art website got corrupted. Like it got hacked or something. I don't know. But they told me it would cost like $3,000 to restore it. So I just got rid of my web hosting. Plus they were going to start charging me thousands of dollars to have a website that I had had for years, like several domains that I had had for years. They want to start charging me like thousands of dollars, they said, because of people visiting, like for data bandwidth. And I'm like, that's really weird. Like I'd had websites for years and I never got charged like that, but all of a sudden they wanted to start charging me like that. But during like the toddler times of the internet, maybe I'll continue this later, okay? That's what I'm thinking.